Hi Hunters, in less than a month, Gogmazios will be making his return to Monster Hunter Wilds. And while we still don't have the full details of the fight, Capcom has already given us enough concrete details to start prepping properly. In this video, I'll be going over what Hunters should realistically focus on right now based only on confirmed title update 4 information. Weapon preparation, build preparation, what to hoard, what to avoid doing, and what you should organize ahead of time. This video is meant to help you better prepare for Gogmazios so that you are basically better ready when title update 4 drops. Let's begin. First off, let's talk about the basic requirement, HR 100. At this point, I'm pretty sure most of you are already past HR 100, but if you're not, don't worry. You can reach it pretty quickly just by prepping the things you're going to need anyway. Now for the weapons, Capcom has officially recommended using fire and dragon damage against Gogmazios. So for Gunlance prep, our best bets are pretty obvious. G-Lawful Boars and Quematrice Gunlance. Not exactly shocking, right? Everyone should be familiar with Boars by now, so I won't go too deep into that. Quematrice is going to be your strongest craftable fire gunlance option because the other two craftable fire gunlance just aren't that great for gunlance, even if they have wide sharpness. Gunlance doesn't rely on sharpness as much as other weapons anyway, so Quematrice still ends up being the clear winner. As for skills, you'll definitely need a good talisman to free up slots on both Boars and Quematrice. A talisman with load shells 2 or artillery tree is ideal, since both weapons want both of these skills anyway. And yes, artillery tree is going to be the best possible roll you can get on your talisman. From there, you just slot in whichever one your talisman doesn't gives you and you should be good. You should still have 2 more skill slots open, and this is where personal preference comes in. You can go with focus or offensive guard. Both of these are fantastic on your gunlance and will help your overall performance. There's also one more skill worth mentioning, guard up. Right now, we don't know whether Guard Up 3 will be mandatory for Gogmazios, but given that this is the first Elder Dragon in Wilds, it is possible we are going to need it. So we'll keep Guard Up 3 in mind once we finally see the full fight. If you roll for a Fire Artian weapon and wanted to use that instead, you should be able to run the same overall setup. The only real difference is that you will end up with 1 less point of guard, but you do gain Guard Up 3. Depending on how Gogmazios attacks work, that trade-off may or may not be worth it, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of armor skills, this part is going to involve a bit of speculation. We still don't have the full picture of Gogmazios' fight. The only thing that we can really work with is basically the O-Gen Gogmazios fight from Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. But based on what we do know, there are a few key important skills that is worth keeping in mind as you prep for your build. First up, of course, is going to be fire resistance. This one should be pretty obvious. Try to get your overall fire resistance to level 20 or higher. That would prevent fire blight from inflicted on you, which will stop that chip damage over time, and most importantly, keep you from instantly carding if you triggered guts. So fire resistance is going to matter quite a bit. Next is about adaptability too. Since this fight is going to happen in the Oilwell Basin, we are probably going to deal with a lot of environmental damage, whether that's the burning lava on the floor or Gogmazios' own oil-based attack, which will set the floor on fire. Adaptability too can help mitigate that and give you a bit more breathing room, but again, this is going to be speculation, but it is a very reasonable guess. Another pair of skills that are worth mentioning are Mirror Walker or Oil Slit Mobility. Gogmazios literally emerges from the pool of oil, so there's a chance we actually need to step inside that terrain during the fight. And as we all already know, the oil terrain will slow you down, so with Mirror Walker 1, you should be able to maintain your mobility and therefore not get caught in Gogmazios' attack. It's not mandatory, but it's something to keep in mind. And finally, earplugs. Since Gogmazios is the first Elder Dragon in Wilds, there's a chance earplugs 3 might be required instead of earplugs 2. But realistically, at least for Gunlance, it's not something that you'll need to prioritize, since all of the shielded weapons can perfect guard the roar anyway, and for Gunlance we are able to punish with a Vibrant Fire immediately after. It's not something that that is like an absolute necessity. It's more of a luxury skill more often than not when it comes to earplugs. So yeah, fire resistance, adaptability, maybe Mirror Walker and earplugs are going to be good and worth keeping in mind just in case. We'll talk more about specific builds to bring into the Gogmazios hunts once we get a clearer picture of how the fight actually works. Capcom has already confirmed that they'll be showcasing the Gogmazios fight in early December, so we won't have to wait much longer before we start theory crafting proper builds to better fight Gogmazios. Now, what should we realistically be doing to prep for Title Update 4? The first thing is actually pretty simple. Get to farming. Title Update 4 is shaping up to be a massive update. New Elder Dragon, new Transcendence level, upgraded decoration slots, Artian set bonuses, group skills, and who knows what else. So the more prep work you do now, the smoother everything will be when launch day hits. So let's break down what you can actually do right now to prepare. If you are trying to get to HR 100 or you just want to upgrade your gear, but you're running low on armor spheres, there are two quests that you should be farming right now: Tongue-Tied and Wreaking Havoc in Viveria. Both of these quests rewards a solid amount of armor spheres, and they are the most reliable way to stock up before Title Update 4 drops. Tongue-Tied has you fight against a Tempered Chadacabra, which is easily the more accessible of the two. It's quick, it's simple, and it's very efficient for farming both standard and hard armor spheres. Wreaking Havoc, on the other hand, pits you against Tempered Guardian, Fulgur, and Genev. This one takes longer, it is a T-Rex after all, but the payout is better, giving you more hard armor spheres per run compared to Chadacabra. The only trade-off is that it is tougher and more time consuming, which might make Tongue-Tied more efficient overall depending on your skill and comfort level. My recommendation is to grind these two quests until you fully upgraded the armor spheres you plan to use for event quests, investigation, and of course to stockpile armor spheres ahead of Title Update 4. If you're already good on armor spheres, the next thing you'll want to focus on is gathering as many Artian parts as possible in preparation for Title Update 4. It's already confirmed that Rarity 8 Artian pieces specifically will be getting upgrades in the update, and that means those parts are about to become a lot more valuable. If you're just starting out, the best way to farm them right now is through the event quest Merciless Claws, where you take on a Guardian Ebony Odogaron. This quest rewards Rarity 8 Artian parts, and the best part is that Odogaron isn't particularly difficult, making it a very efficient farm for players of almost any level. On top of that, you can also stock up on nourishing extracts since Guardian monsters drop them quite often. That's great for building your supplies of demon drugs and armor skins heading into Title Update 4, both of which you'll want to have pre-crafted so you're ready to go the moment Gogmazios drops. Of course, the event quests we just talked about are mainly for hunters who are just starting out and want to prepare for Gogmazios. If you're already geared, upgrade, and basically ready for Title Update 4, you can move on to a more targeted farming through 8-star and 9-star investigations. These investigations drop significantly better rewards than the beginner-friendly event quests. If we look at monsters whose materials convert into the highest melting value at Rokul, especially since melting points are confirmed to be increased in Title Update 4, there are a few standout worth farming: Omega Planetes, Lagiacris, Serigios, Arcvel, and Zosia. Their gems in particular have some of the highest melting point values in the game, making them extremely efficient to farm if you want to stockpile armor spheres and ores. That is, if you get the gems, that is. If you choose between 8-star or 9-star version of these monsters, 8-star investigations gives Artian reward, which is perfect prep for Title Update 4. 9-star investigations gives talisman, which you also want going into the new update. Keep in mind, since melting points will be buffed in Title Update 4, now is the best time to hoard as many monster materials as possible, especially high value drops. Once the update arrives, you will be able to convert all of that into more armor spheres and ores depending on what you need. That's basically it in terms of preparation for Title Update 4 when it comes to upgrade materials. If you follow everything we have covered so far, you should have more than enough to keep you busy and fully prepared for the remaining days until Title Update 4 arrives. The other day, Capcom released a new guild report, updating us with a bit more information about Title Update 4. While most of the details were things we already knew at this point, the guild report did give us a clearer, or at least slightly clearer idea of how the Artian upgrades are going to be handled. It's still vague, but at least it's a bit more understandable now. Based on the guild report, we will be able to upgrade our Rarity 8 Artian weapon by using special materials from Gogmazios, essentially transforming it into a Gogmartian weapon, if you will. This upgrade will apply one set bonus skill and one group skill, chosen at random, while also carrying over any existing reinforcement bonuses. And here's the important part. We will be able to amend bonuses on a fully reinforced Gogmartian weapon to activate even more powerful reinforcement bonuses. Now, the guild report confirms one major thing. Whatever reinforcement bonuses your Artian weapon currently has, whether that's something like 5 attack or 1 sharpness 4 attack or anything else, those bonuses will carry over when you upgrade it into a Gogmartian weapon. After upgrading and fully reinforcing the weapon, you'll then be able to amend the reinforcement bonuses. That's actually huge, but also still very vague. Here's why. First, can we amend the set bonus skill and group skill? Capcom did not confirm this. The only thing they said we can amend is the reinforcement bonuses. This implies that the set bonus skill and group skill we get when the weapon becomes Gogmartian are RNG locked, which means we may need to craft multiple Artian weapons and gamble for a good set bonus and a group skill after upgrading. That could get very messy and expensive really quickly. Second, what does even more powerful reinforcement bonuses mean? This part is actually really vague. Does it mean that current bonuses like attack plus 5 can become attack plus 10? Or does more powerful simply mean moving bad rolls and replacing them with more desirable ones? Both interpretation fits the wording. One is a stat power increase, the other is just freeing you from unwanted rolls. Right now, we don't know which one Capcom meant, and that uncertainty isn't really doing any good for us hunters. So does this mean you should start rolling Artian weapons right now? Well, that really depends on whether you absolutely plan on using one for the Gogmazios fight, but honestly, my recommendation is still no. And that's because of the two uncertainty we just talked about. Fortunately, we won't have to wait much longer. Capcom will be dropping more details about the Gogmartian weapon system very soon as we approach December. So for now, hold on to your Artian pieces and just wait for the full reveal.
That helped!
And that pretty much covers everything you can realistically do right now to prepare for Gogmazios and Title Update 4. Once Capcom releases the full fight showcase and the detailed breakdown of the Gogmartian weapon system, I'll make another video going over the best build, loadouts, and everything Gunlancers should bring into the fight. Before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to all my channel members. Your support means the world to me and I truly appreciate every one of you. You helped keep this channel going and I can never thank you enough. And if you haven't already, don't forget to join the Discord. It's where we talk weapons, share builds, theorycraft for Title Update 4, and squad up for hunts. Would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, hunters, and as always, courage and honor.